Roee Ruttenberg, the reporter you just saw, sat down for an exclusive interview with the country's economy and finance minister, Dulcidio De La Guardia. He began by asking him if his government expects an economic slowdown now that projects like the expanded canal are finished.
No, what I expect is that all these infrastructure projects that are basically finishing will have a significant impact in the productivity of the country in terms of the ability of Panama to compete internationally and to become a key trade route between Asia and the Americas and Europe.
The IMF says you have one of the most flourishing economies in Latin America. So what's your secret?
Well, in the case of Panama, we are a service-oriented economy based on the geographical position of the country. And we have no or very little exposure to commodities.
You do have some exposure to falling global oil prices and rising inflation.
As a matter of fact, Panama is a net importer of oil. We don't have any oil reserves, so Panama has benefited significantly from the decreasing oil prices.
But with oil prices as low as they are you concerned that some shippers will use alternate routes?
Ships that have regular stops, like container ships, are continuing to use the Panama Canal because they need certainty to arrive on a certain date at the different ports. Ships that do not require that certainty, depending on the cargo, may have opted to select different routes.
Panama's Colón Free Trade Zone is the world's second biggest, but it's been declining in recent years. Are you concerned?
It is a cause for concern. Their net exports have been decreasing, so we are working very closely with them to try to figure out a new competitive strategy for the Colón Free Trade Zone.
Well, Panama decided on the canal expansion before your tenure. That project went over budget. Are you concerned about a return on investments?
Well, the project is over budget. There are still some claims pending resolution in the arbitration panel between the Panama Canal and the contractor. But in any case, the canal is finished and it's going to generate significant new revenues for the country. And we are very optimistic that next year, contributions from the Panama Canal to the Treasury will jump at least 50% from the current levels in 2016.
You're not concerned about a decline in global trade?
I'm concerned, however, the Panama Canal will capture a bigger market share of global trade just for the simple reason that bigger ships that are now being used to move cargo more efficiently will use the Panama Canal to move that cargo.
The IMF expects Panama will have more than 6% growth this year and nearly 7% growth next year. Impressive numbers, of course, for any country, but some sectors say that some of this wealth isn't trickling down.
The infrastructure investment that is derived from the economic growth has impacted significantly the productivity of the country, and also the government has been very socially oriented in terms of supporting the lowest, the most vulnerable part of the society with conditional transfers to help them transition from the poverty into active citizens in the economy.
Is this level of growth sustainable?
I think for the medium term, yes. I mean, Panama is a middle income economy. The Panama Canal will open up new opportunities for the country. It's up to Panama to capitalize on those opportunities. We need to transform our educational system in order for the Panamanians to take advantage of the new opportunities, and we have to make our financial system more transparent, in line with the international standard. We will continue to work very hard on that front. And finally, we have to make sure that the government is open, transparent, and we efficiently use the resources that comes from the taxes that the Panamanians paid and the wealth that is going to be generated by the Panama Canal.